These are the 5 AI skills that will actually make you irreplaceable in 2026, not the shiny new objects that will be obsolete in 6 months. Here's the thing, a lot of people are chasing tools instead of building skills. After a decade in AI and serving on the White House Council for Data and AI Training, I've seen what separates people who integrate AI in their work from people who say, I'm too old for this stuff. The last skill on this list is one most people completely overlook. Let's break it down. The first skill that you're going to need to know is prompting. Let me break it down for you. There are ways to prompt that are lazy, and there are ways to prompt like a pro. I will show you the lazy way and then a structured way to prompt. From this, you can see it's a very simple prompt. Create a newsletter, and here's the subject about what it's about. The reason why this is a very lazy prompt is because I did not give it context. When you're prompting, context is king, or in my instance, I like to say context is queen. The reason why is what you're gonna get is a super generic version that people can tell was written by AI. And unfortunately, while it's great to use AI, if people can tell it's written by AI, they lose faith in you. Nothing about this aligns with who I am, what I am, or how I actually talk. So the best way to provide a good prompt is to provide context. I like to actually give it my whole first draft and then use AI more as an editor, more as a co-pilot, truly like a companion and a subject matter expert. So here you can see the prompt of what I'm wanting it to do, but most importantly, all of this is really my context. Now, you can see the format it's in is not in a good format. It wouldn't be perfect for putting it on my newsletter right away, but this is where AI really shines. It shines when I give it the context. This is so much better just because people know it's coming from me. It's my real story. I can review this from a standpoint of, is this correct? Does it go along with my brand voice? But most importantly, it has the context that I'm looking for. So what I can do is I can review the feedback that it provided to me and see which ones I like, and then ask it to add that in. So I really want it to have a stronger hook and then just tighten up the message a little bit more. Now you can see it has a really strong hook. It also shortened some of the messaging. I would read through this in detail to make sure it's still aligned. But most importantly, what I want to show you with this is how to prompt like a pro. It's all about giving your AI model as much context as possible and then iterating off of it, asking for feedback, thinking about it truly as that coworker who knows more than you, right? I'm not a good writer, so I'm gonna ask it to be my editor and help me with that. So if you're finding this useful, I go deeper on AI skills in my weekly newsletter. Same energy, no practical jargon, stuff you can actually use. Links in the description. The second AI skill you need in 2026 is how to use AI to do data analysis. This is probably one of my favorite ways to use an LLM tool like ChatGPT or Gemini. What you're gonna do is just go to the plus side and upload your file, whether that's your spreadsheet. I have a CVS of county health rankings. For this analysis, I have not looked at this data. I don't know what it's about. And I'm just gonna start from the basic principles. So you can think of this as really data governance or data cataloging, where it's gonna look through and analyze the information to see if it can infer what the data may or may not be about. What I love about this though is it actually provides me a snapshot of my data, so I can go back here and check and just make sure that it is correct. So we have everything from geography, time, measurement details, and then it gives me some different examples from this data set. What is incredible about this though, besides the fact that it like breaks down what's in this data set and almost gives me a great report that would have taken a lot of time to do, it gives me prompts for what I can do with this data set. It already starts by saying compare counties with the state or health factors, right? Track trends, build a dashboard for city planning. What we're gonna do is take some of its suggestions. It can also summarize all available measures and show trends for specific areas that I'm interested in. What I wanna do first is do like an exploratory data analysis. So EDA, this is very common in any data analyst job, and I'm gonna ask it to do that. So here's what it does. It gives me the data structure. It tells me how much data is missing. It also tells me the geographic coverage. So are there any missing states or counties? It also then provides me the time span. So this is a great way to just first start to get the lay of the land. I asked what the data is about, and I said perform an EDA so I could understand what I can do with this data. And then again, what I love about this always is it's prompting me for the next steps, right? County level analysis, trend level analysis, spatial level analysis. I'm gonna have it do is build a quick dashboard. Think about like kind of Tableau style for how I could interact with this. I'm just gonna take one of its suggestions, which it said it could build a dashboard, and think of this like Tableau style, and let's see what it comes up with. Here's what it did. I can download this interactive dashboard here. Here we have the county health rankings dashboard, distribution of key health measures. I also have the average violent crime rate. What I can do for this is get some inspiration for what I may want to look at. While this is not a dashboard I would use right now, it does inspire me for what I may want to create. And so I do like the key health measures and violent crime rate, but what I'm gonna have it do is get a little bit more specific. After I see some examples of what it can create in a dashboard, I may have a specific graph that I want it to create. And so I can just ask it to create that specific graph. Here I'm asking, can you create a line graph of the health index by year for the state of California? Awesome. And now with just natural language, I have my health index score. I have a title here of California Health Index over time. It shows the years. The thing I don't like about this is it has a decimal point on the years. Instead of leaving that decimal point, I'm just going to ask it to remove that decimal and just keep the 2010, 2011, 2012. Perfect. And now I have a chart that looks pretty good, right? I have just my individual years. I have the California, the state that I was looking for, and the overall health index. If I had to do this the old-fashioned way, I would have to open up Excel. I'd have to know lots of different formulas and how to perform an exploratory data analysis by summarizing things. I'd have to know how to create charts and graphs and dashboards, sometimes knowing whole different tools. However, with this, all I'm doing is using natural language and asking it to analyze information for me and, most importantly, create things for me. If I don't like something, I just, again, in natural language, ask it to change it. This really is a game changer when it comes to analysis, because if you aren't a data person, you can talk to it like a normal person. So again, nobody should have the excuse that like, I'm not a data person, I'm not a math person. You can use AI to help you get there. And most importantly, it allows you to have data analysis skills that you maybe didn't have before. The third AI skill you need in 2026 is vibe coding. So if you haven't heard the term vibe coding, it's essentially AI assisted coding. So you're not going in, you're not editing the code yourself. All you're doing is describing in plain language what you want, and the AI is creating it for you. One of my favorite apps to be able to do this is the tool called Lovable. It's absolutely free to start to create some of these projects that I've created. It will only cost if you want to do hosting for it. I want to show you one of the things that I've created, and that is a website for my new book. Recently, I launched a new book, Becoming an AI Orchestrator, and the publishing company was like, hey, you need a website. I don't have hours to spend creating a website, or most importantly, maybe you don't even have the skills to create a website. There's tools like Squarespace or WordPress where yes, you can drag and drop things, but it still takes a lot of time just even from the design perspective. I'm gonna show you my prompts and what I used in Lovable. Here you can see the first version of what it created, and to be honest, I think it looks pretty good, but I wanted some customization. I wanted the signature series to be removed at the top. I wanted to remove the read samples, and so I had it do those things. That leads me all the way down to the bottom part here, which is my final website, and most importantly, you can see that with this, I did not do any coding. I'm literally just having it create all of this in natural language. I did this all in less than 20 minutes. What's even better is I can go ahead and then publish this. So I have already published this website. I've connected it to my own domain. This is when you get into the cost of things, but again, it's like $20 compared to what most things are. And now you can go to my site, aiorchestratorbook.com, and you'll see this beautiful website that was created with just natural language by using vibe coding. Please be sure to try building something that you felt scared to, or maybe never had an opportunity to build before because you didn't have the skills. But now with AI being your co-pilot, being your companion, you can be that orchestrator and you can be that creator. The fourth skill you need in 2026 is multimodal prompting. So essentially what multimodal prompting is going beyond just text prompting. We all know it can create posts for you or newsletters, but you have to go beyond the basics of text prompting. Think of this from a standpoint of audio, video, images. Really think of it from a standpoint of your 5 senses. For example, when I'm creating a newsletter, which we talked about in step 1, like how to create a really good prompt, I wanted then to also create an image that goes along with it. So not only do I need to have the text, but I also want to have the image. Other examples of this are using it to expand your capabilities. So I have a friend who's an amazing lyricist, but unfortunately he's not that great a singer. And so he uses AI to bring his great song lyrics that he writes by hand to life. It allows him now to not only just write the lyrics, but actually put his songs on Spotify because he has AI vocals, AI drums, AI instruments. So now people can actually listen and hear his music. The 5th AI skill you need in 2026 is critical thinking. If you have this skill, you are going to stand out from everyone else. As we've seen time and time again, AI will just give you an answer. It's always going to blurt something out. Now, it takes you as an individual to know, is this a good answer or is this a bad answer? And most importantly, it comes down to you critically thinking and evaluating that output. Maybe it's asking additional follow-up questions to make it make sense. Or maybe it's cross-referencing it with additional sources. Please do not just take the first output. AI is always going to give you a first output. What really matters is you critically thinking and analyzing, is this correct? All right, drum roll please. It's time for the last skill that you need in 2026 for AI, and that is building and using agentic AI. So everyone's talking about agentic AI because, well, we all need an extra set of hands. But what people aren't talking about enough is what is agentic AI and how do you implement it? So agentic AI is essentially an AI that can use tools. And what they do with these tools is it can complete tasks. So it can't do a whole job, but it can do a specific task. Move these files from one location to another location. Check and make sure this information is correct. Those are all simple tasks that can be done. And you, as an AI orchestrator, have to command your AI and set up the workflows, most importantly, on how you want this to happen. How to get started is first recognize the tasks that you do on a daily basis. So my recommendation is to write that down. Just take one day to analyze yourself. Think of it about like you're being a scientist who's observing yourself and what you do. And write down all the things that you did on a daily basis. Then take that in, put it into your favorite LLM, and ask it to categorize those tasks into which ones could be used and automated by AI through agentic AI. Once you pick your top 1 or 2 tasks, start with just one task that you want to automate. Some of my favorite tools include Make or Crew AI to implement agentic AI, but most importantly, find what is meaningful for you and find what works best for you. Remember, agents are not magic, but they are really good at specific tasks. So if you get specific on what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how you want to enhance it, you're going to be well on your way to using agentic AI. So here's what it comes down to. Learning AI tools isn't enough. Everyone's doing that now. The key is combining these skills with the judgment to know when AI is helping and when it's not. That's the human-machine collaboration. And that's what makes you irreplaceable. Newsletter link is in the description if you want more. And if you want to go deeper on a specific tool, check out my Gemini tutorial. I break down every feature so you know exactly what to use and when. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.